the weekly Melbourne Racing preview. I've got Trevor Lawson. How you going, Trev?
Good, Mark. Good.
Group 1 racing is back, which is good.
Yeah. This is the first one for the autumn, and it's a pretty good meetings coming up. Over the next sort of 6 weeks or so.
Yeah. So it's pretty good card tomorrow actually. So the main race is race 8, the Group 1 All Stakes. Scales of Justice is $2.80 in pretty good form. Came back from the spell very well, obviously. In your market, how are things looking?
I've got it clear favourite and got it about that $2.80.
Yep.
Was terrific kick first up, beating sort of Haydock, and he was sort of held up, and I think if he'd got out earlier, he would have won by further. He won third up last prep. This track and distance won the Group 1. I think he can easily reproduce that rating that he did in the spring. He just comes across and he'll sit 1 out, 1 back, or possibly 1 out, 2 back.
Yep.
And if he sits 1 out, 2 back, that just means the speed will be a bit more, and I think he's clearly the horse to beat.
Yeah, right. And there's Haydock, you mentioned quickly, is second favourite at $6. With the rest of the field at $9-10 or longer. So.
Yeah, I've got Haydock sort of around that $6.50. He resumed off a very long spell in the spring at Sandown Classic Day, and ran okay, and then he ran terrific in Perth, and then the other day he sort of had every chance. I've rated him sort of somewhere between about the middle between what he did at Ascot. I don't think he could do that again.
Yep.
and the other day. So I've improved him off the other day, and I've got him clear second pick.
Yeah, right. So any others in the race that caught your attention?
So outside it, there's a bit of a boom on Alabama Express. He was terrific first up, but to me it's just different class. He's going 11 to 1400, but I've sort of stepped him off what he did the other day because he was soft, but I can't get him any sort of than $16. So
Right.
I'm actually Scales of Justice I sort of got around the 280. Haydock sort of around the $650, and then my next pick is sort of $16, which is I've got sort of 4 horses. Alabama Express, Ring a Ding Ding, who ran well first up, but barrier 1 he's going to get back on the inside. Avilius, he's an honest horse, but he might want it wetter, but it's around $16. He's got some hope. And Fierce Impact, he won the 2 mile races in the spring. He's first up here. He probably will improve with the run, and I thought he was sort of around a sort of $16 shot as well. But ideally I'd like to back Scales of Justice and save on Haydock, and they'll be up on the pace. I think Haydock will lead, and I think Scales of Justice will get the run, and all the others they'll have to run them down.
Is there any particular just way you approach these early season Group 1s? We've seen a bit in the spring, because obviously it's a Group 1 race, it's a good field, but it's not basically a target race for any of these horses. They're generally on the way up to bigger things.
Yeah, generally with the sort of horses like Kingswell Dream, 50 Stars, Mirage Dancers coming from Caulfield Cup Run, Night's Watch, I generally just sort of rate them around what they do normally first up.
Okay.
Or if I haven't got to line them, I might rate them 1, 2, 3 steps off their best, just to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
The other horses in the market that I thought he was disappointing first up was Be Good to Your Mother. Raced a bit, and I thought he could improve off that run, but I didn't think he had run quite to his best, and I've got him much longer than I think he's single figures in the early markets, and I've got him around nearly 25 to 1.
Yeah, right. So all Scales of Justice?
I think so, yeah. As I say, it was impressive first up. It was impressive the day it won over this trip. And, being a Group 1, $500,000 race, you'd think it'd sort of be, ready to go for this.
Sure. So just have a look at a couple of other legs as well. So race 6 is the Group 2 Rubiton Stakes. Anahid, top of the market at $3.90, fairly steady. Hasn't been much movement in early betting. Any thoughts there?
It's a good race. It kept improving. It won, I think it was the middle day of the carnival at Caulfield, and then ran third in the Group 1 behind Love and Gabby, which is pretty good form. Sort of sat outside the leader that night, went pretty good in fast time. I thought it was the horse to beat. I've got it a bit longer than the market. Got it around sort of $5 favourite.
Yep.
Age of Chivalry's first up. The stables sort of have a habit of having their horses ready sort of first up. He's a nice horse. He's sort of be getting home hard. Admiral's Joker probably wants further, but he could sprint well fresh. All Too Royal is honest, and I thought he sort of had some hope. Bold Star. So I thought it was basically got of the 10 horses, I've got 9 horses sort of under $15 in the market. So I got an Anahid favourite, but not much value, and I'm not sure if there's a lot of value in the race.
Might be one to watch.
Yeah, I think it's just sort of one to watch.
Yeah, right. So race 7's the Group 3 Carline Cup over the mile. Couple of reasonably short. Miss Siska's $2.80 at the moment. Odeon $3.50.
Yeah, Miss Siska's it trolled impressively. It ran well first up last time in. I've rated it to that. It'll go forward from the barrier. I don't think sort of wide barriers any concern, but it's very short odds. I've got it sort of equal favourite with Odeon because Williams goes back on Odeon, but got him like $3.50, $3.70 sort of thing.
Yep.
I thought the only other chance in the race was Guizo. He's been racing well, and I think he's looking for the 1600, and he gets a good run on the map. So I thought there was sort of 3 main chances.
Yeah.
Outside that, I'm sort of $15 a field, but excuse me, at the moment there's a lot of percentage. I couldn't. To me, it would have to. Surely it's got to drift. It can't. It's short enough. I think a lot of times early in these early markets, they the troll people and the jump out people sort of back the horses early, and excuse me, they can tend to be sort of short odds, and then sort of the real market kicks in and they can sort of drift a bit.
Yeah,
but
so you'll tend to wait anyway tomorrow till there's a bit
yeah,
more
you can't.
percentage
Well,
out of the market.
you couldn't sort of play at that price, and you couldn't play at that percentage. So I mean, generally, all you're doing early is hope backing things that you think they've made a mistake.
Yeah.
And generally on a Saturday they don't make that many mistakes. They make sort of more on a Wednesday and sometimes on a Friday night. So you're sort of just waiting for the percentage to come down. But they're betting probably 128, 129, and Betfair will get down to 101. So the 280 becomes sort of $3 something anyway. So.
Yeah. Right. And just the last leg is the Group 3 Belmain Stakes over the 1200 metres. Sylvia's pretty short there, $3.
I thought it was the horse to beat it, but again, I've just got it longer than the market. Got about $4. Barrier 1, he's going to have to kick up. He sort of drew barrier 1 last prep, and they were sort of worried about it at Caulfield, but Dunn actually kicked up from the barrier and held his position. I think he'll probably have to do the same thing here. But I think it's got a good chance. Victor Salute comes down from Sydney. It has sort of good figures. Bamps on Fire was finally returned to form last start. And Fidelia, whatever you call it. It's good, fresh. Looked the trial terrific leading into this. He's sort of back market, but sort of barrier 4 and B Mellon, he might be able to settle a bit closer. And I thought he could strip well fresh. And then you sort of got Mamselle Tess. come back in trip, but it's sort of honest and sort of puts itself in the race.
Yeah. So be a bit of a case of waiting till a bit later tomorrow and getting a bit more reasonable percentage of the market. And,
and there's a few races where you've got a lot of horses sort of fresh, and so you sort of you sort of got to wait. But I definitely like to bet in the Ore.
Yep.
And a couple of other races, and there's a good 2-year-old race, race for 4.
Blue Diamond Prelude.
Yeah, Hanseatic was very impressive, winning the other day.
Yep.
He's drawn barrier 2. I sort of haven't mapped this race yet, but just looking at the figures, and the Sydney Colt Rulership. It ran good time in Sydney and leveled away and was very soft on the line and looks to sort of prove, the stable have sort of good record with 2-year-olds.
Yep.
So I thought it was it sort of looked a good race, and they looked like clearly to have advantage over the rest.
Also got the Valley tonight.
10 races tonight.
10 races in the Valley tonight.
So we've gone from nothing to plenty. So there's been 24 scratchings. So I sort of just got to go back through and tidy them up now post the scratchings. But they looked a couple of sort of reasonable sort of races.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll be able to find something there. It's been a bit with me. Been a bit crook, was sort of been missing out a little bit, but slowly on the mend.
Yeah.
And looking forward to sort of getting amongst it.
Yeah, and we've got Flemington on Sunday for the twilight meeting, but unfortunately every race down the straight.
Yeah, there's my sort of regulars will realise we don't sort of really bet much in the straight, so
I don't think you're alone there, either.
No, and I noticed the rail's out 12 metres, so there's every chance that they'll come to the outside fence or something unless he doctors it, and it'll become dodging cars anyway. So look, there's enough meetings. There's as I say, there's 10 races tonight, 9 tomorrow. We've got Sandown next Wednesday, back at the Valley next week, and then Flemington, I think. Flemington, and then the Diamond the week after. So there's sort of plenty. And I think there's pretty much 3 meetings a week now at least, sort of thing. And Pakenham's kicked in. I've sort of wanted to have a look at some things, but just with this sort of being a bit crook, it's just sort of knocked me around a little bit. But eventually I will get round to sort of doing some meetings there or doing some races there as well. It seems to be racing well.
Yeah.
For the 3 months that it's open.
Good stuff. All right. Well, all the best tomorrow, and we'll catch you next week.
Great. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everyone.